tonight's topic for, well, let me set the rules and ramifications, the rules of the speakers tonight. There are two speakers, myself and Miss Lady Tomeka. And the subject tonight is our icebreakers. This is the first time that we are speaking and letting the group know about us. So we have to break out the ice with our first speech. Some people do it immediately, like myself. Some people extend it out. And then some people wait forever. But hey, extension is good. So the speech has to be a minimum of 4 minutes and can't exceed 6 minutes. Not to exceed 6 minutes. And please feel free that you can do as much visualization as you want. Try not to have any ums, any ahs. As an evaluator, you need to honestly evaluate everyone's speech and speech patterns, how they do things, and please, it's okay to be critical. Everyone is an evaluator tonight. So if you see something and you think you can improve on it, that's what we're here for. Okay? That is what tonight's thing is. And as a Toastmaster, I'm going to defer to Miss Lady Tomeka first, because you're going to be a professional speaker one day. And let's bring her up, because one day we're going to see her and be paying big money for her speeches. And we'll remember her as a penny here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is indeed a privilege and an honor to be able to speak and do my first icebreaker on this evening. Once again, I am Lady Tomeka. And the topic that I will be speaking on my title, to kind of ice break for me, will be, it takes a village to raise a child. That was a thought that came to mind on Saturday, and I sat down and I did some writing about it. And as I was researching, it takes a village to raise a child, that Proverbs actually came from African culture of raising children in a community type setting, and knowing that it would take more than just the parents just to raise a child. And so for me, that was very, very, very profound for me in my life, and how my life has transitioned, and how many people have come into my life as my village. And so tonight I will be welcoming you into my village so that you can see how it actually worked then and is still profound for my life today. I am a native of Newark, New Jersey, born in 1974 to two wonderful parents. And they, from what I was told, they told me that I was a very, very cheerful and a very warm baby. And so my family took part in raising me. I had so many people who pretty much just took me for a weekend or maybe a month. I don't think I spent much time with my mom. I actually was traveling from Washington, D.C. And then there was a cousin of mine. He and his wife actually took me as a baby. I think I was about 6 months. And I kind of lived with them, either on the weekends, all the summers, holidays, and all that good stuff. Just living with them. So to this day, they actually are my second parents. And I've never called them cousins. I've always called them mom and dad. I actually have 2 brothers with them. I am the oldest girl of 8 siblings. And my mom is the only child. So it took a village to raise her, and also a village to raise me. And in that, I realized that at some point, the fairy tale story of this village kind of took a twist and a turn during my life, where an altercation between my mom and my grandmother, after the smoke cleared, you had 5 children at the time, then going into foster care. I wasn't with them at the time. I was with my second parents, but 5 children were separated. And I realized that they had their village. There were some foster parents who raised them, and I had my second parents who raised me. And after 10 years, we wound up coming back together, not knowing each other, but knowing that we were siblings. Seems a little disheartening, very harrowing, but overall, it shows how a community really gets involved and helps to raise a child. That was so profound for me that I never thought that I was alone or that I was without family or that my parents didn't love me. I just knew that life took, you know, its twists and turns, and my village showed up. And I'm grateful for the village of those who stepped up and took part in raising me. During that transition, I played sports and I was a part of various committees where there was a Mr. Davis who was a part of my village, who took me to Keystone and showed me the entrepreneur club at the Boys and Girls Club. And then there was Coach Lorraine, who came along during my basketball years and gave me a scholarship for college and allowed me to actually travel to, you know, various cities and see the world, my village. Several years later, I became a parent, and I then transitioned here to Charlotte after another eventful life transitioning situation, and came here with my children. And right now to this day, I can really say that the village still is profound in my life. Being here with my children, with no family per se, my village shows up in many, many, many ways. The village of my daughter's coach, or someone from the Freedom School where they attend for camp, they show up. They come by and they actually take my children and they say, "Miss Tomeka, we'll give you some time to yourself." And that's so important. A village does not have to be a color, a creed, a race, a religion, or anything like that. It just has to be a warm opening for others to get involved and help you through this life. So even though I'm in Charlotte with all of my physical family way in New Jersey, I still feel like I have family here because the village is here and they continue to help me in my life endeavors with my children, and so I'm not alone. So I thank you for this time of me breaking the ice of the village and my family.